So what do you think actually differentiates you, and actually, how did you get to that point? When did you decide actually this is where we're going to differentiate, and why it's important for you to differentiate in this particular space?
So yeah, I mean, our major differential is that we have an integrated learning management system and training in there as well. So our training is world class, and I'm not just saying that because it's mine, but our training is world class. It's out there. The US government use it. It's sold. It's on its own platform as well, iAM. So it's a major piece of the whole sort of L&D space in the commercial world. So, but the way that came about was again just the evolution of what I believe should be a whole integrated compliance system. I do not get how you can do compliance by buying modules. I just don't get it. So there are competitors out there, and they sell it on a modular basis. If a school want to have buy out certain modules, I don't think they're getting the whole package of actually making their organisation as compliant as it could be. That's my theory. So, like I said, I started by, like I said, I go back to the beginning. So the reason I built iAM to begin with was because, like I said, my background is facilities management, and facilities management has lots of different offerings out there in terms of service software for engineers, but also CAFM software, computer facility management for the end users. And one of the things that we were looking at before, so I sold that business in 2014. One of the sort of industries we were looking at prior to actually going into, prior to obviously me selling was schools. And we got involved with a local authority, 63 schools, and basically tendered for for most of the schools there. We didn't win them all. Some of them were obviously independent and academies and that kind of thing. So, but it became sort of quickly, it was easy to basically spot that schools just didn't get the whole facilities management piece at the time. But what I did take away from it was that schools actually had a real desire to be doing the right thing. And so if they did have the platform to be able to do that, and like I said, we had my facilities management company was very, very much, you bought a Rolls-Royce service. It was very, very, very highly regarded in the industry, certainly in the Southwest. We went further afield, but certainly in the Southwest, the delivery that we had was excellent, and all credit to the team. But actually, that if you could deliver that kind of service on a platform basis to schools, they had all the sort of the infrastructure in there to go and do it. So essentially, that became the feature that I kind of built first was premises management, and then to be able to again, the whole sort of Rolls-Royce service around facilities management is to be able to upskill the people that are on site. So to upskill anybody on site with my premises tool, I would give them how-to guides, and the how-to guides would basically evolve from anything to do with how to test a fire alarm. I mean, like I said, some schools still pay for that. They outsource that. I just think it's crazy. So it's how-to guides for everything. It kind of breaks down and actually how to basically run your site if you need to run it yourself. But actually, all the contractors you need to bring them in as well. But we give you sort of an understanding of what to look for when the contractors come in as well. So anyway, so I'm dwelling a bit more on my product here, but actually the next phase of that is to actually the continued sort of development of that person on site is exactly what we used to do in the facilities management world. We used to do things like toolbox talks at 7 o'clock in the morning. So on a Monday morning, we'd have, but the thing is that it catches on. It catches on because people, you'll be amazed how many people you think, oh, well, he does this, he does that, and he's just a site manager for this. You'll be amazed how many people actually want to learn. And they actually want to sit there and absorb information that's going to make their life easier, make their job easier, and move them forward. And so So what we used to do was give these toolbox talks at 7 o'clock in the morning at the rugby club opposite the office, and you go into everybody come in, we give them all a bacon sandwich, and it started off with like 6 or 7 people, and eventually got to like 50 odd people in there, and we eventually invited clients, invited contractors about these things. So anyway, so the whole process about upskilling people really I knew early on was what we needed to do. So the next bit that we kind of did was build our training solution, and it was a learning management system, very basic learning management system, and together, me and Laura, my colleague, who was just us at the time, we basically built these training courses, and I'm not going to say they're rubbish, but they weren't the greatest. Let's just say they weren't the greatest, but they were all we knew. But people started to take them, so it obviously clearly had some sort of impact. So obviously that was a sort of a sign then that I needed to sort of go a bit further into this. So then I basically, like I said, I basically found there's a guy on the internet, LinkedIn, that I used to sort of follow and chat to as well on the whole MD space, and he was VP of Global Content for SAP, and I just managed to bring him into the fold, and met him up at a shop, a sort of motorway Hungry Horse or whatever it was, or Little Chef, and brought him into the fold. He said, "Can I bring somebody with me that is basically a dream at creating content as well?" He said, "I'm very much a sort of a voice in the L&D space, but can I bring somebody who actually creates the content with me?" And I said, "Oh, what's his background?" "Oh, he was a project manager for DreamWorks." I was like, "Yeah, fuck me." No problem. Yeah, bring him in. Let's have a conversation. So we all got together, and then we basically evolved this learning side of the business. And like I said, our content is the best of the best. It's created in the same sort of style as you would basically create a Pixar production, and it's all animated. It's really easy to understand. It's characterful, it's engaging, and it's all basically, it all follows a story. If you get a character in the story, you become sort of engaged with that character. You can sort of connect to that character. You can connect to their emotions. And like I said, we've got. I mean, like I said, I go back to my days when I was actually sort of the toolbox talks we used to do with my colleague Rich doing the presentation, health and safety guy in my old company, doing the presentations and whatever. And like I said, standing up in front of people and talking. When you've got something like our topic, where we've got, like I said, we've got this little character that is in all of our content, and you've got, like I said, ladder safety. Would you rather be in a room being told about ladder safety, or would you rather engage yourself with the content of iAM, effectively Spider-Man, walking you through a ladder safety course and with quizzes and games? And we did a lockdown course called Coping in Isolation last year, and we included a game of Pac-Man in it just to sort of make people become engaged. So the whole kind of content around our learning library is all built around the fact that we are upskilling somebody on a site with a large sort of portfolio of content, but also the next level that it takes people on as well is this whole kind of, I mean, we've got lots of mental health content as well. We've got a lot of content in there that lends itself towards a much wider picture. And this is what I was saying about safety management and compliance management being such a wider topic, because you've got simple things. You've got simple things like, well, generally, if somebody has an accident in a school or has an accident in the workplace, I always say use the SALT analysis. So SALT is, are they sulky? Are they angry? Are they alone? So a lot of accidents happen when people are alone. Are they late? And are they tired? So that's, have a look back and see what's gone on in that particular thing. Any of those can be addressed. So if you're late, go and take our time management course. If you're tired, go and take some of our course on sleep deprivation and things like that. There's lots of different things that people can sort of signpost to all of our content that is so much more than just the run-of-the-mill standing in front of a, like I said, I say standing in front of anything, but there's so much more content out there above the health and safety stuff and the mental health stuff that actually lends itself to safety.
And self-serving by the sound of things, in the sense that you serve yourself your education.
Yeah, and like I said, our content library now we're on 103 courses, I think, at the moment. We've just had another round of investment, so we're at the end of this year we'll have 350 courses.
Wow.
Well, so, and that's all. Like I said, we've got large corporates that buy our content, but also that same content library is in our app for schools, and it really, like I said, it really is really engaging. IELTS approved. I'm selling it now, but IELTS approved. We're up for nominated for a Startup of the Year award for the Learning Performance Institute as well. So we're really, like I said, it's a great part of the whole sort of safety management piece and compliance piece in schools.
No, I totally agree. I like the idea that basically it brings it all together. I think it's quite interesting because you know, that you can almost equate it to like the MIS space, where you have like one-stop shops, you know, rather than multiple different solutions. I think it's slightly different because I think actually there's more value, I think, as a one-stop shop in compliance. You know, with the MIS space, it goes into lots of different sort of modules. You know, you've got things like communication and lots of these sort of areas where third parties sometimes are a bit more of a best of breed. I think with compliance, I think it's slightly different. You need it almost together because you know, you could be audited, as you said, health and safety wise or anything else, and having it all in one place where where you're in control, I think is actually really important. And that's in that sense.
Well, it's nice to have it as well at the touch of a button.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't say where this was, but I mean, I've told you the story before as well. But we had a particular client that had an issue, and the HSE turned up within 2 hours of the issue, and because they basically had everything at the touch of a button, something that would have taken 2 or 3 days to go back and analyse and find out. They had everything that they needed. They had risk assessments, they had training certificates, they had everything there that showed that that the duty of care was being had by everybody in the organisation, and they were gone within 4 hours. It's a demonstrating to somebody that you've actually thought about what you're doing is a large part of it. And obviously, if you can do that in one system, then I think that's really where I think compliance should be. I mean, that's really where everybody should be, really, because